Friends make the world a better place. They also make it easier to turn your passion into policy. In the advocacy world, our friends are our coalition. And just like when you're trying to plan a trip with friends, coalitions can be difficult, unwieldy, and at times stress you out and make you wonder if it's all worth it. But just like that trip with friends, it goes wonderfully and you create lifelong memories. When you manage your coalition effectively, you can get that policy win and change the lives of people in your community, state, and country. So, how do we manage a coalition effectively? On today's Better Advocacy in 10 minutes or less, we're going to cover 5 things you need to do to have a well-functioning coalition that will set the stage for your policy success. All right, first up is to set expectations. Just like that friends trip, if no one knows who's in charge of the trip, then things won't get done. You want everyone to understand who's in charge. Is it an individual? Is it an organization? Who is running the meetings? Who is facilitating discussions? Who is synthesizing these rambling conversations and distilling them to key ideas and action points? To do this effectively, you need to understand what each individual or organization offers. Different orgs and individuals have different strengths and passions, and let's just be honest, weaknesses as well. When you lean into those strengths and passions, you'll have happier teams that are more willing to do the work needed to get the win. Especially, understand the capacity of each individual organization. What are their legislative priorities? Is this a one-person organization, or is there a large staff with resources they can commit to this cause? Learn who has a tendency to overpromise and underdeliver, and learn who you can trust to get the work done. All right, next, you need to create a workflow and assign tasks. This is like planning the itinerary for your trip. What are the steps to take to accomplish your goal or goals? Write them out. Use a spreadsheet or even project management software. Make sure people understand their tasks, the deadlines to complete them, and how it fits with that bigger picture goal of the coalition. Let the whole coalition know so they can see what others are working on and offer help if it's in one of their strengths. Once you assign these tasks, orgs need to be held accountable. I'm not talking about that friend that has to control every decision on your vacation. That can be a little overbearing. What will usually work are email reminders of when responses were promised and regular meetings so tasks don't get forgotten. Now, to do all this, you need to communicate. If your friends say yes to a trip in 6 months, then you don't talk to them until the day before the trip, do you think they'll be ready? Or do you think they've forgotten about you and then made other plans? It's the same with coalitions. You need to keep everyone informed. You should have regular meetings. If not with the whole coalition, at least with folks that are working on immediate tasks. Updates should be communicated regularly as well. Depending on how you like to operate, this could be through email, a shared document, a signal chat, whatever works for y'all. The important thing is to keep information flowing so people know what is happening and what is expected of them. And don't forget about external communications too. You want to let others know what you're doing. If you can get media talking about your policy now, that will make your work during session even easier. The same goes for approaching legislators before session. Inform them of the problem you're trying to fix. Answer their questions now so you won't have to fight for their vote later. You also need to be ready to manage change. Yes, no trip goes off without a hitch, does it? There's going to be a flight change, a mix-up with reservations, or someone gets sick. The same goes for coalitions. There will always be a point of conflict or an unexpected decision that needs to be made. You want to have a process in place for quick decision-making. Make sure coalition members feel heard and do what you can to resolve that conflict in real time. But also realize that sometimes as policy gets debated and priorities change, you may lose some partners. As long as this is done in a healthy manner, where you treat each other with respect, don't worry about group dropping off. They have their own priorities, and your coalition might not rise to the top of their list. But I'm saying this is not necessarily an all is lost situation. One session, we had multiple bills being heard in different committees at the same time. Our coalition couldn't have someone in every room. But One of our former coalition partners happened to be in the room that we weren't. Because we had a good relationship with them, even though they weren't part of the coalition anymore, they got up to speak on behalf of our bill. And you know what? It passed. It made it through that committee. All right, now back to that travel analogy. Whenever I get back from a trip, I also think through what went well and what didn't so I can have a better trip next time. Can you tell I like planning travel? There you go. You want to do the same thing after the session is over. Get your coalition together for a debrief. Ask yourself these questions. Did we achieve our goals? What worked and what didn't? Does the coalition need to continue? This time of group reflection is important for healthy coalitions. In the fast-paced legislative session, important moments may get lost in the shuffle. This gives your team a chance to look back over notes and messages, share wins and hopes, and plan for what's next. If your policy was implemented, you may be able to disband the coalition. Hey, one less thing on your plate. Or you may need to keep it going to ensure that things happen like you planned. If you didn't get your policy through, you can figure out what steps to take so next year you're more successful. Look, traveling with friends can be cumbersome, a lot more cumbersome than solo travel. But when it's done well, it can also be more meaningful. You could try to get a bill passed on your own, but if you can do it with friends with a coalition, you'll have allies to share the load and you're more likely to succeed. Look, I hope this helped you understand coalition work a little bit better. If you're looking for other ways to improve your advocacy skills, check out the rest of the Better Advocacy in 10 minutes or less videos.